Hello and welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. So today's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, February 9th, 2024. So we'll see what is on the front page, and it's an article about our Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic. It lands a medical residency program by Ken Waddell. Neepawa Health Center and the Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic are about to take a major step forward. Under the guidance of Program Director Dr. Brian Milligan of the Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic, Neepawa will be home to a 2-year medical residency program. Program Administrator Jenna Kilburn, who will be assisting Dr. Milligan in administering the program, told the Banner and Press that the residency program is funded by the University of Manitoba and is held to the standards set by the College of Family Physicians of Canada, as well as the Max Rady College of Medicine at U of M. Kilburn also noted that as soon as they know which resident doctors are coming to Neepawa, they will be releasing the information so that the community can start to get to know the new doctors even before they get to town. The residency program is a team effort from all medical staff, as other physicians will be involved in the learning process for the residency students, said Kilburn. As for when the program will begin, it is planned to start in July of this year. This learning year, Neepawa will have 2 resident year 1 students. Those 2 will then move on to resident year 2 here in Neepawa, and we will then receive 2 new resident year 1 doctors. With each year down the road, Neepawa will have 2 resident year 2 students graduating from family medicine. The Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic is owned by the Neepawa Area Development Corporation, or NADCO, a municipal partnership involving the town of Neepawa, the RMs of North Cypress Langford, Rosedale, and Glenella Lansdowne. Since purchasing the formerly privately owned clinic several years ago, the building has been renovated extensively and expanded twice. 7 of Neepawa's doctors rent space in the clinic to operate their medical practices, and the clinic is also home to Valley Optical. Neepawa Hospital is being replaced by a new one currently under construction east of Neepawa. At various announcements, it has been stated that the new hospital will have 17 doctors, and where to get staff has been a concern. At a community meeting, Prairie Mountain Health CEO Brian Schoonbart said that filling staff positions would be done over time and not immediately upon opening. The residency program is being geared to doctors who wish to be general practitioners in a rural setting. In addition, the recently opened Nurses Training Center in Neepawa has 20 students in class right now. So this is a picture of our medical clinic. It's very nice after doing all their renovations. So that's great news. All right, additional provincial funding available to Beautiful Plains School Division by Owen Devereaux. School divisions across the province, including Beautiful Plains, are set to receive some additional funding from the Manitoba government. On February 1st, Education Minister Nello Altomare announced the province is increasing its annual allocation to public and independent schools by $104.2 million. This extra support begins in September and will vary between divisions based on factors such as enrollment. The average amount to be distributed will be 3.4% of a school division's annual budget. That percentage is about 50% higher than Manitoba's current rate of inflation. The $104.2 million includes the following: $51.5 million in operating costs for public schools, $3 million towards smaller class sizes, $27.5 million for nutrition programming, $11.3 million for capital support, which includes principal and interest costs related to building schools, and $10.9 million to independent schools. After years of feeling the pinch, schools and kids deserve a government that's ready to fund them at the level they deserve, said Altomare during the press conference announcing the new investment. He said funding will be stable and predictable for divisions while we develop a new funding model for the next fiscal year. For the Beautiful Plains School Division, the amount of new support comes out to about $1,357,000 for the 2024-25 fiscal year. This includes a portion of the nutrition funding that was also announced on January 30th. Beautiful Plains Secretary-Treasurer Shannon Bays explained to the Banner and Press what happens next on a local level. As a growing division, we are grateful for the increase in funding as our growth continues throughout the division. Funding is based on enrollment. However, it does lag behind growth. The board will be reviewing the funding received and making decisions over the next few weeks where these funds will be utilized, stated Bays. A taxpayer's opportunity for input by the Banner staff. It's budget season for the town of Neepawa, and its annual pre-budget survey is live. This survey is made available each year to gather taxpayers' opinions on where funding should go within the community. The pre-budget survey for the 2024 season is available online and can be found via the Town of Neepawa's social media on its website or in hard copy at the town office. This survey was initially announced via the town's social media in late January and will remain available to answer until its closure on February 16th. And there's a note saying the Neepawa Banner and Press reached out to the town of Neepawa for comment on how the survey was progressing thus far, but did not receive comment before the print deadline. Now here we have a picture. It says no run-of-the-mill changes to Neepawa's business district. So this used to be its Time store, and it has been taken over by Lisa Adams, and it's a new look at 263 Hamilton Street in Neepawa. The new signage was recently put in place. So on Thursday, February 1st, the boutique currently plans to open on February 20th. So here, this sign's going to go up here, I guess, and it's called The Mill. And then over here, it's called The Mill Lifestyle Store. So that's exciting, having a new store in town. I'll come back to this later. I'll just get through the rest of this news. Well, we'll go to Out of Helen's Kitchen by Helen Drysdale. Her feature this week is titled Chinese New Year. This year, Chinese New Year is February 10th, and 2024 is the year of the dragon, an animal that embodies good luck, strength, and health. Tied to the lunar calendar, the holiday began as a time for feasting and to honor household and heavenly deities, as well as ancestors. Lunar New Year is the most important celebration of the year among East and Southeast Asian cultures, including Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean communities. The 15-day celebration begins with the new moon and lasts until the full moon. The New Year's Eve reunion dinner is a big event with all family members reuniting, which usually includes several generations. Chinese people try very hard to attend this family event, often traveling long distances. After the reunion dinner, parents give their children red envelopes with money enclosed and wishing them health and good studies in the coming year. Red is China's lucky color, so the money in the red envelopes is called lucky money. Part of the celebration are parades through the streets with long, colorful dragons or lions being carried by numerous dancers. Setting off firecrackers and fireworks are part of the celebrations. It is a way to scare away the evil and welcome the arrival of the new year. Many people go to visit the tombs of their relatives. The last event of the celebrations is the Lantern Festival. People often hang glowing lanterns in homes and temples and carry them during a nighttime parade. Certain foods are eaten during the Chinese New Year celebrations for their symbolic meaning. Dumplings are believed to bring wealth in the coming year. The rice ball's rounded shape symbolizes reunion and being together. Spring rolls look like gold bars and represent a wish for prosperity. Shrimp represents liveliness as well as happiness and good fortune, because the Cantonese word for shrimp, ha, sounds like laughter. Tangerines are the most traditional fruit to grace the table, as they are particularly round and golden in color, symbolizing fullness and wealth. Classic and traditional Chinese green onion pancakes can be served at any meal. They are sometimes served with hot sauce or a dipping sauce. And Helen has a recipe for Chinese green onion pancakes. Chinese almond cookies are thought to bring financial luck into the new year. Their round shape resembles that of a coin, which symbolizes wealth and good fortune. And then she has a recipe for Chinese almond cookies as well. Rhythm boys to play at Arts Forward, and here's a picture of them. Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys, submitted by Kaleidoscope. Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys have an exhilarating live show that instantly enamors its audiences with their engaging, sometimes jaw-dropping stagecraft and showmanship. Come prepared to smile and have an evening of merriment. Their genre is traditional bluegrass and roots. They feature Gordy McKeeman on the fiddle, feet, and vocals, Mark Geddes, bass, drums, percussion, mandolin, and banjo, Thomas Webb, vocals, banjo, guitar, pedal steel guitar, and bass, and Peter Can, vocals and guitar. They are great players, sharp songwriters, invigorating company, not to mention nifty dancers. They have performed all over the world and are returning to Neepawa for an encore performance. With flashes of flair and fancy footwork and a blatant disregard for predictable stage presence, Prince Edward Island's Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys deliver an ultimate concert experience filled with high-energy, electrifying entertainment. That was taken from their webpage. Gordy McKeeman and his Rhythm Boys starts at 7:30 p.m. at Arts Forward on February the 22nd. Come early to secure a spot and enjoy a beverage. Tickets are available at Arts Forward ahead of time and at the door. Let's make the building shake, rattle, and filled to the rafters. Thank you to Harris Pharmacy for your generous support, making concerts such as this possible. Tickets are $25. And that's part of the Kaleidoscope concert series. All right, now we have some Carberry news. In their own words, the Town of Carberry Council by-election by Jolene Balciunas. A by-election is currently underway for the Town of Carberry. The need for the election was due to a vacancy opened after Councillor Emma Denton submitted her resignation. Effective December the 4th, 2023, Denton had been elected to council in the 2022 municipal election. The nomination process for the council by-election ends on January 30th, according to the town's website. In total, 4 candidates are vying for the position on council. They are in alphabetical order: Michael Hamilton, Ray Johnson, Debbie Ray, and Samantha Van Dam. Here are their biographies and platforms of each candidate in their own words. Election day is scheduled for March the 6th. And an editor's note: due to space restrictions within the newspaper, portions of the information had to be edited down to fit the available space. So the following are these 4 people vying for this position on council. So we'll start with Michael Hamilton. We decided to move our family to Carberry about 15 years ago from Brandon to give our children a better environment, better for their education, better for their social well-being, better for their safety, and let me tell you, I feel we succeeded in that endeavor. Carberry has been a place where you can walk down the street with your head up instead of down for fear of offending someone by making eye contact. It's a place where you can wave at complete strangers and they reciprocate instead of flipping you off. It's a place where your neighbor cares what happens to you and yours and hopes the best for you. Carberry has been welcoming and accommodating to my family throughout the years, and I believe it's my turn to help keep it that way. I have worked at Gabler Welding for the last 8 years, providing our community with the highest level of service and getting to know a great amount of people along the way. To say that I get along well with others, so I have been told, would be an understatement. Working with all kinds of personalities can be challenging, but I'm up to the task. If elected, my main goals for Carberry would be to have a fiscally prudent, fair to all council that listens to the citizens. After talking with many of the business owners in town, I feel that fostering a good working relationship with existing businesses will not only help them flourish, but will also encourage new business to come to our town. After all, we will not be able to attract more people to come live here if we cannot support them. I take a rational, common sense approach to anything I do, and serving you on the town council would be no different. Thank you all for your time and consideration, and remember to get out and vote. Next is Ray Johnson. Community and service in the community has been a big part of Ray's entire life. Ray moved to Carberry the first time a year before he married Leslie Downey. Ray and Leslie have 2 adult children and 4 granddaughters. Jason and family live in Winnipeg, and Kelly and her family live in Drayton Valley, Alberta. During their years in Carberry, Brandon and area, they were members of the Kinsman Canettes, as well as a member of Kiwanis in Brandon. Ray coached the young players as well as played for the Plainsman hockey team in Carberry, making an impact in the lives of the players and in the community at that time. He has carried a creative passion to be a catalyst for change in every community he has lived over the years, whether in business or community organizations or in faith-based organizations. Ray and Leslie moved back to Carberry a second time in the spring of 2013. This is a place to meet, build relationships and connections for the strengthening of those living in the community of Carberry, where we now call home for nearly 11 years. Goal: to build strong relationships, strong families for a strong and healthy community. For Carberry to prosper and grow economically, socially, and spiritually. To be a strong voice as a man of integrity, a creative thinker, and one with strong belief systems in place to grow this stronger community. Carberry, a city of destiny. And it continues on to say, destiny. Oh, that's the end of his. A city of destiny. So that was Ray Johnson. Next is Debbie Ray. My name is Debbie Ray, and I have let my name stand for the open position of councillor for the town of Carberry. I have been a member of the community for most of my life. I have gone to school, married, and raised my 3 children in this town. My career in nursing has included direct nursing on the ward at the Carberry Hospital and personal care home, and now I am a nurse/manager. This position also encompassed the Carberry site for a number of years. Today, I'm still working in healthcare as it is my passion. Other interests are my grandchildren and their activities, reading, gardening, and golfing. My family and I enjoy our camping opportunities when available. Politics has always intrigued me. If elected into this position, I would like to ask opinions of our taxpayers as to the tax base and what you would like your dollars put toward. The present mayor and council are doing a great job at changes to enhancing and promoting activities and businesses in our town. I would like to be a part of this change for growth and prosperity. Being accountable and transparent is so important. Listening to our population, though, brings forth many ideas and suggestions to build on. Access to local health care is a priority. We are lucky to have the services we have today, but we need to have an open 24/7 emergency room with a full staff in all departments. Following up on provincial initiatives and promises is important, along with information received to be shared with our general population. I would like to know what our young people and our elderly in town would like to see to enhance their days and to address any concerns. I have questions about child care necessity, public transportation, access to services, and green space initiatives. I have had past experiences being part of the Beautiful Plains School Division for a number of years, an active participant with the Province of Manitoba Nurses Union, as well as president of our regional and local nurses. I have had opportunities to work with our local businesses in town, in committees, and for fundraising. I feel I would be a good representative for our town. I am asking for your support to represent you at our council table for the town of Carberry. Thanking all in advance. Lastly is Samantha Van Dam. I'm running for the open position on town council. I've grown up in Carberry and lived here most of my life. I moved to Brandon for a few years and quickly realized I would rather live in a small town. I hope to eventually have a family in this small town that I've always called home. I'm running for council because I'd like to be a part of keeping Carberry a small town even as it grows. The feeling of everyone knowing everyone and people helping each other out is really important to our community. With that, it's also important that our little town keeps growing to make it easier for everyone to get what they need without having to leave town. I'd like to help work with the other council members to retain and grow more resources for the people in our community. I hope many people come out on election day to voice their opinions and vote for whoever they'd like to be appointed to council. Okay. All right, still with Carberry, they have a Carberry minor hockey recap. The Carberry Minor Hockey Under-13 Plainsmen traveled to Dauphin this past weekend for the Silver Smash tournament. In their first game, they won 7-0 against the Brandon Hurricanes. The second day saw them play McCreary first thing in the morning with a 3-2 loss, following up with a win against St. James 8-3 in the afternoon. Day 3 of the tournament would see Carberry take on Verdun and take home a 3-0 win. The Under-13 Plainsmen finished the Silver Smash tournament with a well-earned silver medal. The Under-11 team recently traveled to Verdun and took home a 6-4 win. Under-9s had a doubleheader this weekend with the morning game against Boissevain, winning 21-4. As for the afternoon game against Verdun, Carberry ended up with a 8-7 loss. The Carberry/Glenborough Under-15 team played in Hartney on Saturday, losing 2-1 in a nail-biter. On Sunday, they hosted Meletta, winning 7-2. Now, there's an article here from the Spruce Plains RCMP, written by Sergeant David Taggart. In the month of January, the Spruce Plains RCMP responded to 200 occurrences. We conducted many traffic stops in the area. On one traffic stop, we seized cocaine, methamphetamine, break-in instruments, and non-taxed cigarettes. 39-year-old Stephen Neufeld of Alberta was arrested and charged with possession for the purpose of trafficking cocaine and methamphetamine and possession of break-in instruments. The Spruce Plains RCMP executed a drug search warrant on a residence in Minnedosa. Police seized methamphetamine with a street value of $1,000, a prohibited weapon, and $500 cash. Shanella Spence, 28 years old, was charged with possession for the purpose of trafficking methamphetamine and possession of property obtained by crime. 30-year-old Theron Laquette was charged with possession of a firearm, possession of a weapon, carrying a concealed weapon, and 3 counts of failing to comply with an undertaking. Both were released from custody with various conditions. Speeder of the Month goes to a 52-year-old male from Winnipeg. He was traveling at 150 kilometers an hour in a 100 zone through the RM of North Cypress Langford. Wow. A serious offense notice was issued, which puts the driver's license under review to see if it's suspended or not. A scammer calls to demand payment for a non-existent debt. They use high-pressure tactics to get you to pay immediately. Sometimes they will threaten that the police will get a warrant for your arrest, which would never happen for a debt. To avoid collection agency scams, request a written notice through regular mail. Check to see if the collection agency is registered with the appropriate provincial agency. You can also contact Equifax Canada and TransUnion to make sure someone has not stolen your identity. Gotta watch those phone call scams. Now, this is an article about Gladstone. Mourning a Monument Full of Memories by Casper Werhan. The Gladstone community will soon say farewell to a long-standing piece of history. The Gladstone Chamber of Commerce announced on its social media on February 6th that the time has come for the historic beauty known as the Galloway Building. With the announcement, the Gladstone Chamber shared a few words of thanks and recognition for the occasion, as it is a landmark that is close to the hearts of many. The Galloway Building, which is shown here in this picture, has supported this town in many different capacities since its beginning, but we need to look beyond the building and recognize the small business owners who worked hard to keep the doors open and provide services and products to this community for so many years, the Chamber posted. Having a short understanding as a small business owner, there aren't enough thanks or praise I can give those brave entrepreneurs. My mom always said small business owners are a breed of their own. They added that the Galloway history has a part in us all, but while we mourn another monument gone, let's be thankful for what it has provided us, the memories it gave us, and let's give thanks again to those who took the chance and put in the hard work to extend its life for so long. One such individual was the Galloway Building owner, Mike Vercain of Gladstone. Vercain put a lot of time and effort into the restoration of the historic building, turning it into rental business space and housing. In an interview with the Neepawa Banner and Press, Vercain said that after the disastrous fire that occurred on December the 25th, 2022, a mutual agreement was worked out with the insurance company. Because the interior walls and floors were insulated in the renovation, the damage was so extensive that repair was not feasible. Vercain said he has no plans for the land. According to Gladstone Then and Now, from 1871 to 2001, the Galloway's history starts with Roper and William Galloway, who came to Gladstone in 1881. On February 14th of that year, they opened their general store business, which would continue until their ownership until 1909. The business had 3 locations, with 2 of these being on Morris Street. The location of the first store was on Saskatchewan Avenue, across James Street from the Malcolm's Hotel, which would later be the MTS building. In June of 1886, the Galloway Brothers store moved to the vacant premises of Peter Ferguson's store building on Morris, which would later be the site of the Gladstone Elks Lodge. A large new store was then erected in 1902. This store had a floor space of 10,560 square feet, and the cost to build it was estimated to be $15,000. Wow. It operated on 2 levels. Groceries, dry goods, and furnishings were on the main floor. At the top of an ornate staircase was a bay area where the money changer was. There was also an elevator. In the upstairs was a millinery, ladies' clothing, and gents' clothing. This business reportedly carried the largest stock at any country point in Manitoba. The Galloway brothers also opened a butcher shop in the building they had vacated across the alley in 1908 and hired Angus Kennedy, who later would become the full owner of the butchery. So I'll explain here, the long-standing building known as the Galloway in Gladstone will soon be taken down. Still beautiful to behold, the building suffered too much inside damage to be restored. This is a picture of the Galloway building prior to the fire in December of 2022. And here is the Galloway building as it appeared in the old days, and the Galloway Brothers departmental store right here. Now, this is an article about Valentine's Day, which is coming up. Start off Valentine's Day with breakfast, submitted by Metro Creative Connection. Valentine's Day is about expressing love for special people in your life. One way to do that is to pamper that person as much as possible. That can mean starting the day off with delicious breakfast in bed. Muffins can be prepared in advance and are easy to enjoy in hand for a breakfast that involves lounging and love. Blackberry Crunch muffins marry coffee cake and muffin elements and tart berries for something that is equal parts breakfast and dessert. What better idea for Valentine's Day? Try this recipe courtesy of Lord Honey Traditional Southern Recipes with a Country Bling Twist. Pelican Publishing by Chef Jason Smith. So there's a recipe here. Blackberry Crunch Muffins, and here's a picture of it. Ooh, looks really good. Woo, a weekend of fun on Lake Minnedosa. The dates are set, preparations well underway for 2024 Skate Rock the Lake by Casper Wareham. Minnedosa is well prepared for some up-and-coming outdoor festivities. Next weekend on February 17th and 18th, the community's iconic Lake Minnedosa will be home to the 16th annual Skate the Lake and 5th annual Rock the Lake Pond Spiel. These events are held each year in benefit of minor hockey projects and get people out enjoying sport in the outdoors. Skate the Lake features non-contact 4-on-4 format hockey using customized nets instead of goalies and special rules to ensure safety and fair play. Rock the Lake has two-person teams conducting stick curling, no sweeping, and going through 8 ends of play. With the 2024 event right around the bend, Tanis Barrett, member of the organizing committee, reported on Sunday, February 4th, that preparations on Lake Minnedosa were almost complete prior to the recent warm spell. The town of Minnedosa created the rinks for hockey and curling and have been keeping them cleared. Our volunteers painted the curling rinks and setting up the Croca Curl area are looking for cooler weather before they get that finished. Once the temperature gets cooler again, we will have to assess what might need to be done on the lake to have the rinks ready again. Barrett added, off the ice, preparations are full steam ahead. Registrations for hockey and curling have been quick to come in and are almost full. Soon the schedules for each pond, hockey game, and curling match will be put together. Sponsors and donations are being set up, and our Minnedosa minor hockey teams are putting together their volunteers to run their shifts for the weekend. Additionally, the volunteer committee members are reportedly hard at work ensuring there will be food, drink, heat, and places to sit in at the pavilion. Volunteers have also been planning for the setup of a large tent from Shiloh and the placement of over 100 bales for places to sit, put on skates, and to hold the scoreboards at each rink. Personally, I am excited to see how quickly sponsorships and registrations have come in. To me, that means our events are established, and people look forward to a weekend of community fun on Minnedosa Lake, Barrett enthused. Some of the planning for this year started right after we wrapped up in February of 2023. So it will be great to see all the planning come together to create Skate and Rock the Lake 2024 in a couple of weeks. Anyone who wishes to take part in the fun by cheering the teams on are welcome to join the festivities at Lake Minnedosa. Specific times for these events are expected to be made available on Skate the Lake's website, which is skatethelake.ca, by approximately February 14th. Now, 4-H Canada announces 2023 Leadership Awards by Ken Waddell. The Volunteer Leader of the Year awards have been announced by 4-H Canada. The Leader of the Year award for Manitoba is Shelley Bjornson. Shelley is in her 25th year as a 4-H leader with the Neepawa and Area 4-H Beef Club. Shelley has also been instrumental in the success of the Neepawa and Area Fat Stock Show and Sale, holding president and treasurer positions. The nomination was a partnership between the Neepawa and Area 4-H Beef Club and Rapid City 4-H Beef Club. Shelley is an extremely deserving recipient of this honor as she puts her heart and soul into ensuring every member has an equal opportunity for success. So this is a picture of Shelley. She's a longtime leader in the Neepawa and area 4-H Beef Club. She farms at Gladstone. Now, another article about Minnedosa. Without all the support, this would not be possible, by Casper Warehan. Curlers are preparing to hurry hard for a cause in Minnedosa next weekend. That's because from February 16th to 18th, the Minnedosa Curling Club will be home to the community's 5th annual Curling for a Cure Fun Spiel. We started this event in 2018 to try and raise a little bit of money for our Relay for Life team. We started this in honor of Gigi, or Nick Melnick, who was diagnosed with terminal cancer that year, said Chad Yanchiski, head organizer. It meant a lot to him to give back money to cancer programs in Manitoba. That first year, Curling for a Cure raised $3,500, and since then it has picked up steam. The event, which originally allowed for 16 teams, was adjusted to allow 24 teams last year due to high demand. Additionally, the 2024 event is the 4th sellout in a row for team signups. This year we sold out in mid-January, a month prior to the event. A majority of the teams that enter come back every year. We'd be 80% of the teams coming back, and from all over Manitoba too. 65% of our teams are from outside the Minnedosa area. We have such great support from people and businesses. Without all of them, this would not be possible. Yanshiski added, when we started this event, our goal was to raise $100,000 in 10 years, and we will be darn close to accomplishing that in 5. To date, we've raised $61,530. Curling for a Cure is working toward a fundraising goal of $30,000 for 2024, which, with proceeds being split 50-50 between Candlelighters Childhood Cancer and Cancer Care Manitoba. I'm very confident we can get there too, Yanchiski enthused. Along with supporting the cause, Yanchiski noted that this event is all about coming out and having fun. A bunch of laughs and a good time, no experience required. Out of our 24 teams, I'd say roughly 14 of them curl on a regular basis. Then we have some new curlers who only come out for our event each year, and people in between. We play music in the rink all weekend long and just enjoy a fun-filled weekend. The 2024 Curling for a Cure will kick off with 3 draws on February 16th, with the first starting at 5 p.m. and the last at 9 p.m. Saturday, February 17th. It will feature 6 draws starting at 9 a.m. with the last draw beginning at 8 p.m. This evening will also include live music from Emma Peterson, an award-winning Manitoba country artist, starting at 7 p.m. Curling for a Cure will close out on February 18th with an additional 5 draws. These draws will start at 9 a.m. and all championship games will begin at 6 p.m. All games are open for public viewing, and opportunities to support the cause, such as a raffle, will be available on location. Food will also be available through Missy's Kitchen for the duration of Curling for a Cure. We want to encourage everyone to come out and check out this event. It seems to be growing a lot and gaining momentum each year. Every penny raised gets donated to these 2 wonderful organizations. That is wonderful. Also, so the Neepawa Titans Junior A Hockey Club is having a big 50-50, a cash draw, a 2024 cash draw lotto. The grand prize is $20,000 plus 5 draws of $1,000, and only 800 tickets are being sold. They're also having a 50-50 tickets, 5 for $50. The winner will receive 50% of the total sales. Final draws are Friday, March the 22nd. So you'll have to get your Neepawa Titans cash draw ticket. Okay, what else? Now we have some more sports news here. Neepawa Novas showcased their best. They hosted a 2024 Invitational at the Yellowhead Center. So this is a picture of the members of the Neepawa Novas Gymnastic Club, held January 27th at the Yellowhead Center. And then here's some pictures of families and gymnasts representing 7 different clubs around Manitoba. It was a bright and early Saturday morning in Neepawa as the Yellowhead Center was alive with gymnasts warming up for the first competitive session of the day. Neepawa Novas Gymnastics held their 2024 Invitational on January 27th, which featured 7 clubs from across the province, including a team from as far away as Flin Flon. In total, there were 168 gymnasts, coaches, and judges, as well as a spectator area full with fans and family. The competition itself featured level 1 to 6 Canadian competitive program gymnasts competing over 4 sessions throughout the day. As for the local result, our Novas started the season out with some fantastic scores and brought home multiple medals. Thank you to our head coach Amanda Lebatilier and Kaylin McDermott for their support and encouragement during the day. As well, a huge thanks to all the parent volunteers who spent countless hours before and during the day to pull off the event. The businesses who sponsored, and those who bought raffle prizes, 50-50 tickets, and roses for their favorite gymnast. A special acknowledgement of appreciation to Bill Sirik for the extra special light and smoke show entry he put together during each awards presentation. Aw, fun. Well, good for them. Next, we have an article about the Neepawa Titans push to playoffs continues by Owen Devereaux. With only 15 games remaining in the MJHL's regular season, the Neepawa Titans know that every single point is going to matter from here on out. After 43 games, Neepawa has accumulated a 20-22-1 record, good enough for 41 points in the league standings, which has them only 3 points clear of Waiwasakapo for the 4th and final playoff spot in the West Division. Neepawa earned itself a very important 2 points on Friday, February 2nd, defeating the Winnipeg Freeze 5-0. The Titans put in an exceptional effort that night, and if there was anything to be disappointed about, it could be that they didn't win by more. Neepawa rang 2 shots off the post in the game that would have been goals, as well as skying 1 shot barely over the top of the net. Nonetheless, it was still a solid home win that had the 430 fans in attendance at the Yellowhead Center on this night headed home happy. As for scoring, Tim Taconic scored a hat trick and added 1 assist to lead Neepawa on to the win. After the game, Taconic told the Banner and Press, everyone as of late has had their chance to step up when it mattered, and tonight was just his night. It's just on any given night sort of thing with this team right now. I just came into tonight's game knowing that I needed to keep things simple and, play for the team. And when I did that, we got rewarded for it. And so I'm going to keep doing that, said Taconic. In the locker room right now, the boys are buzzing. On any night, we have confidence that somebody is going to step up when we need it, but we're not just waiting for that to happen. We're pushing out there, putting in the effort, and eventually that effort gets rewarded. Along with Taconic's 3 goals, Brendan Quinn Lagria and Cody Gwynison also scored for the Titans, while Mason Lebreau picked up his 2nd shutout of the year, making 24 saves in the net. the script was essentially flipped on Neepawa the very next night as they lost 4-0 to the Steelers in Selkirk. After a scoreless first period, Selkirk took the lead at 5 minutes 24 seconds into the second period. The Steelers would expand their lead to a 2-0 a little over 5 minutes into the third before shoring away the win with 2 scores late, making the final 4-0. Selkirk outshot Neepawa 47-22. Ooh. Now in Dauphin, a late game scoring surge from Neepawa fell short as the Dauphin Kings held on to a 3-2 win over the Titans on Tuesday, February 6th. The Kings scored once in the opening period and added 2 more in the second to secure a 3-0 lead. At about the midpoint of the third, Connor Thompson picked one up for Neepawa. Then, with 2 minutes remaining, Hayden Stock scored, cutting the Dauphin lead to just 1 goal. That's as close as Neepawa could get in this 3-2 defeat. So in the standings, they do remain in 4th place, but Wayway is only 3 points behind. So Verdun is in first, Blizzard in second, Dauphin Kings third, and Neepawa fourth. All right, now the Neepawa Farmers hockey team by Owen Devereaux. The Gladstone Lakers locked down 3rd place in the Tiger Hills Hockey League's Eastern Division on Friday, February 2nd, with a dominant 10-3 win over the Neepawa Farmers. Gladstone secured itself a 2-0 lead at the end of the first period with goals from Trey Evanson and Connor Grunston, with Evanson's coming off a power play. In the second period, the Lakers added 2 more before the Farmers were able to reply back once. Riley Bruce and Jaden Shumalak picked up goals, making it 4-0. Brett Lewandowski was able to claw one back for Neepawa on a power play. Before the end of the period, however, Bruce registered his second of the night. Just 25 seconds later, Sean Kubas scored, giving Gladstone the comfortable 6-1 lead going into the third. For the last period, Neepawa answered back with a pair of goals, but Gladstone ended the night with the final 4, making it a 10-3 score. Lewandowski and Ward Susky scored for the Farmers, but Jesse Toth and Jaden Shumalak answered back before Grunston picked up the last 2 goals of the game, which gave him a hat trick on the night. In total, Grunston had a 5-point night, 3 goals and 2 assists, while Bruce and Shumalak collected 4 points apiece, each tallying 2 goals and 2 assists. The victory assured the Gladstone Lakers 9-8-0, 18 points. That assured them 3rd place in the East as they hold the tiebreaker on both the Farmers and the McGregor Wild, who each have identical 8-9-0 records going into the last weekend of the regular season. On Saturday, February 3rd, Gladstone Lakers traveled to Minnedosa to challenge the Bombers and were defeated by a 4-3 score. The game was a great bit of back and forth between the 2 clubs and could be a great preview of what to expect should they meet once again in the playoffs. The Bombers secured the win with a late game goal from Mark Willis. Shane Jury, Ryan Haino, and Matt Saylor all collected the other goals for Minnedosa, while Gladstone answered back with markers from Dylan Gabor, Ethan Winters, and Sean Kubas. Devon Fordyce made 34 saves and collected the win in net for Minnedosa, while Matt Coleman was tagged with the loss, but still put in a remarkable 47-save effort for the Lakers. With 1 game left on their schedule, the Bombers are solid in second place with a 14-2-1 record. Wow. Their last game before the playoffs will be in Neepawa on Friday, February 9th versus the Farmers. While a win or loss will not impact Minnedosa's placement in the postseason, it'll still be a game for the Farmers. Neepawa at this point is tied with McGregor as both teams are 8-9-0 If Neepawa wins its final game against Minnedosa and the Wild lose to the Deloraine Royals, the Farmers could still finish in 4th place in the East. So, good luck to them. Still with sports, we have an article, basketball article by Owen Devereaux. The NACI Tigers had the chance to challenge themselves against some formidable competition last weekend at their junior varsity boys basketball invitation. In total, 8 teams from across the province and representing several different skill levels came to Neepawa. The Tigers would start the weekend off against the Portage Collegiate Trojans, who are a AAA team, 4A team, that compete out of the highly competitive Winnipeg Tier 2 League. It could be argued that Neepawa, who are a AAA level team, were the underdogs in this opener, but they certainly didn't play like it, as the Tigers came away with a 67-57 win. That result sent NACI over to the championship bracket, where the competition would not get any easier. The next game for Neepawa was against Swan Valley, a Zone 8 AAA team. In this semifinal, NACI once again triumphed with a 97-91 victory. This result sent the host team to the championship final versus the Pembina Trail Collegiate Trail Hawks. Based out of Winnipeg, the Trail Hawks are also a 4A team and have a perfect record in league play this season. They would be an extremely tough challenge for the Tigers, and though Neepawa gave their all, they ultimately fell to the city team by a score of 94-55. This should not be looked at as a loss, however, for Neepawa, as the Tigers did show they could compete against several top-tier leagues who have larger metropolitan areas in which to get their rosters from. Congratulations to Neepawa on a successful tournament. Now, this is hockey now. High school hockey. Tigers in striking distance of top spot in WHSHL by Owen Devereaux. A 6-goal flurry vaulted the Neepawa Tigers past the Major Pratt Trojans on Thursday, February 1st in the Westmen High School Hockey League. These half-dozen unanswered goals in this matinee game powered Neepawa to a 7-2 victory. The Tigers opened up the scoring early off a Hayden Delaloy opportunity just 1 minute 41 seconds into the first period. Major Pratt answered back, however, with a pair of goals before the first intermission, giving the Trojans a 2-1 lead. Near the midway point of the second period, Neepawa tied it up off an Ian Foster goal, his 21st of the year. Just over 90 seconds later, the Tigers retook the lead as Rylan Bray scored. While that would end up being the game winner at the end of the afternoon, Neepawa still added 4 more in the third just to be safe. Bray picked up his second in the game exactly 3 minutes into the third period. Riley Davey, Callan Dembo, and Cohen Kalbaki all scored as well to make it a final of 7-2. Davies' goal was on a Neepawa penalty kill, while Dembo picked up his on a power play. As for Kalbaki, he earned his 13th of the season with just 2 seconds remaining in regulation. Shots on goal for the game were 48-13 for the Tigers, with Neepawa going on to a 19-1 tear in the last 20 minutes of play. Harley Smith Bilal picked up his 12th win of the year in net for Neepawa. And then against the Vikings, a rush of unanswered first period goals helped propel the Neepawa Tigers to an important 6-3 win over the Vincent Massey Vikings on Tuesday, February 6th. This matinee game at the Yellowhead Center was a showdown between two of the very best teams that are lacing them up in the Westmen High School Hockey League. Neepawa scored its first of the day off a chance from Brody Pollock. while they were killing off a penalty. 2 minutes later, they added another, this time on even strength. Daniel Lissaway was credited with the goal. Then exactly 2 minutes after the second goal, the Tigers notched one more, a power play shot from Pollock, making it 3-0 at intermission. In the second period, Vincent Massey scored a pair, cutting the Neepawa lead to just one. With 8 minutes and 57 seconds left in the third period, though, Ryland scored on a Tigers power play. Pollock added another, his third of the game, at 2:43 before the Vikings scored just before the end of the second to make it 5-3. Just one goal was scored in the third off a chance by Riley Davey, making it a 6-3 final for the NACI Tigers. With the win, Neepawa is now only a single point behind Vincent Massey and Dauphin for first place, with games in hand on the schedule. The next home game for NACI is scheduled for February 14th against the Killarney-Wawanesa Raiders. And still with sports, Hayden Delalloy earns an MJT scholarship by Owen Devereaux. The combination of athletic and educational accomplishment has earned Hayden Delalloy a scholarship from the Maple Leaf Junior Golf Tour. Maple Leaf Junior Golf Tour, MJT. Every year, the MJT splits a $10,000 endowment between 5 tour members from across Canada. According to the MJT media release announcing the winners, these scholarships are presented to those who showed exemplary athletic, educational, and personal achievements. The bursary is paid directly to the institution the winner chooses to pursue their post-secondary education. Delalloy is the lone student athlete from Manitoba to receive this year's honor. As part of the MJT release on the 2023 recipients, Delalloy said, "This investment in me will have a lasting impression for my future endeavors, and I hope that I will be able to give back to my community in the same way." The Neepawa golfer has been a member of the Maple Leaf Junior Golf Tour since 2017 and has won several of the MJT's sanctioned events on its Manitoba circuit throughout the years. He also competed in the 2017 MJT National Championship, an invitation-only event for Canada's top MJT competitors. Wow, congratulations to Hayden for that. And just a note, again, the Neepawa Titans Junior 8 hockey team, their next regular season home game is February the 10th at 7:30 against Verdun. And then February 18th at 3 o'clock against Winkler. All right. Did that already. Okay. Neepawa and Area 4-H Beef Club Communications, submitted by Neepawa and Area 4-H Beef Club. At our January meeting, alumni 4-H member Daisy McKee gave an extremely informative presentation on how to prepare a speech or a visual and how to present your topic. On Sunday, February 4th, our 19 members wowed a large and appreciative audience with spectacular speeches and visuals adjudicated by judges Marcia Forg, Raylen Jacobsen, Lana Krause, and Colleen Much. There were a wide range of topics from 9 new members and 2 members presenting their last speeches as they will be leaving for university in the fall. The top 2 in each age category and division have the opportunity to move on to zones in early March. So these are the results. For the senior speech, first place, Sviena Bjornsson, entitled "Let's Go for Ice Cream." In second place, Keegan Dyke, "The Hidden World of Deer Farming." Third place, Carson Baker, "Is It Best for the Future?" And fourth place, Madison Robertson, "What's the Beef?" In the intermediate speeches, first place goes to Summer Sawchuk, and it was about Whitefish, Montana. Second place, Quinnsawchuck, calving season. In third place, Morgan Dyke, Tesla Innovations. In the junior speech category, first place, Cooper Jury, entitled My First Buck. Second place, Sadie Sawchuck, Pros or Cons on the Farm. Third place, Mary Jane Wilson, entitled My Farm. Fourth place, Rachel Medill, Norwegian Elkhound. In the Clover Bud speech category, first place, Owen Merchant, called Deer Hunting. Second place, Aspen Emerson, My Best Friend. Third place, Ollie Kolbaki, Hockey. Intermediate visual, first place, Avery Jury, and it was about lacrosse. Junior visual, first place, Ryder Muir, Barn Buddy Bites. Second place, Lily Kolbaki, Backwards Calves. And finally, Clover Bud visual, first place, Hannah Tibbett, called Pixo Bits. Second place, Benny Wilson, All About Me. So here we have the junior category. Cooper Jury, Lily Kolbaki, Sadie Sawchuck, Ryder Muir, Mary Jane Wilson, Rochelle Medill. Intermediate speech, Quinnsawchuck, Summer Sawchuck. Intermediate visual, Avery Jury, presented by Madison Robertson. Clover Bud, Aspen Emerson, Benny Wilson, Ollie Kolbaki, Owen Marchand, and Hannah Tibbett. Senior speech, Keegan Dyke and Sviena Bjornson. Here we have a neat picture. Special Olympians lend a hand at Tim Hortons. Some of Touchwood Park's Special Olympics bowlers helped out at Tim Hortons this past weekend by lending a hand with decorating donuts. The donuts were to be sold as part of a Tim Hortons fundraiser for Special Olympics Canada from February 2nd to February 4th. Right here. And here, I remember talking about a photo contest about Snow Day. So here are the winners. Congratulations to the Neepawa Banner and Press Snow Day photo contest winners. Categories were Best Kids Winter Sports Photo by Sonia Taves, Best Nature Photo of Any Season by Tristan Tykrib, and Best Christmas Photo by Blair McLaughlin. A note, photos cropped to fit available space. Okay. Now we have an announcement about a winter festival coming to Neepawa. Neepawa's annual winter festival, Sunday, February 18th, 2024 at the Flats in Neepawa. From 4 to 8 p.m. there will be bonfires, public skating, children's obstacle course, hot dogs and hot chocolate, and horse-drawn sleigh rides. The sleigh rides will end at 7:15. Then from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., glow-in-the-dark adventure trails. Oh, that sounds interesting. And at 8 p.m., there's going to be fireworks. Fireworks will be set off at the east end of the soccer fields. For your safety, please gather behind the marked locations. All activities are free for everyone to enjoy, courtesy of our generous event sponsors. And the sponsors are Pat Baker Backhoe Service, High Life, Rob Smith & Son, Co-op Neepawa Gladstone, Provo Signs, Neepawa Banner and Press, Stride Credit Union, A-Kipe Excavation, and Home Hardware. Thank you very much for that. All right, we don't have much time left. Let's see. I wanted to show this picture of the Safeway corner in Neepawa. This is what it used to look like compared to now. And across from there, I guess that's where the dollar store is, there was a North Star Oil. 1959. I'll read Homebodies by Rita Friesen, called Socked In. Twice last week I was driving in pea soup fog. On the Thursday, heading to Carmen for a funeral service for a family member, I was thankful that a grandson was driving. As we turned south from Highway 1, we entered a fog zone and it never lifted. We became a part of a convoy, semis and passenger vehicles all proceeding carefully at less than 80 kilometers. Knowing me, we had given ourselves ample time for travel and we needed it all. The conversation in our vehicle helped take my mind off the poor visibility and the ticking clock. The ride back was pleasant and clear. Then on Friday we needed to head to the Brandon Airport. Leaving here around 10:30, we drove in fog, sometimes very dense fog, and sometimes with a poor but adequate range of vision. The departure was scheduled for 1:30. Visions of the day before Christmas, when the fog prevented any aircraft from landing or leaving Brandon, and the confusion that caused. I wasn't certain my daughter would be getting back home to Saskatoon by nightfall. I stalled, having a slow lunch in the city in case there was news of a canceled flight, but no. Text came that the craft had arrived and everything was just minutes behind schedule, so I headed home. Yep, the plane was ready for loading and the visibility wasn't all that bad. By the time I reached Forest, and now I was by myself, the fog was settling in. By the river's turnoff, it was thick, four-way flasher thick. Thank God for passing lanes. I knew there was a vehicle ahead of me. I spotted it every once in a while, and in the passing lane, several units took the opportunity to get ahead of me. I was okay with that. It wasn't until the Franklin turnoff that I stopped the four ways, and by the time I reached town, I was breathing easier. Not a fun drive either way. It took me back to the time I drove my father to Rosthern, Saskatchewan. He was adamant that we could not go through Saskatoon. It was some time later I learned the reason why. And so we were on unfamiliar road and drove into fog so thick one did not dare stop or turn around or turn, just creeping slowly forward. Thankfully, we came to a small community with streetlights, found out just where we were, and slowly the fog lifted. There are times in my real life I feel like I'm in a thick fog. Can't see clearly what lies ahead and can't see clearly where I come from. Too foggy to stop, too foggy to turn around. Can only proceed with utmost caution. Can't say for certain exactly where I am. It's not a good feeling. Grief does that. Abuse does that, economic distress does that, and broken relationships. It happens to many of us for varying reasons. This is where my faith is my anchor, my North Star, my comfort and guide in the times I need to slow way down to find my way. I am confident I will. The fog will lift. And I just wanted to show our viewers this fantastic picture of the 100-year-old Hamilton Hotel in Neepawa that was reduced to smoldering ruins in February of 2004. Due to the cold weather, firefighters had to take turns dousing the hotel with water. And this is what it looked like in its heyday. Quite a few of us remember that fateful day. Anyways, that is the end of the reading today of the Neepawa Banner and Press. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll probably see you another time. So goodbye for now.